Hey everybody, welcome back. David here from Coffee Talk with another open-ended discussion, this time talking about the power grid and the clean energy lie. The clean energy lie, of course, you know that the current administration of the executive branch of our government, and in fact many Western governments around the world, are pushing for so-called clean energy. And it's not exactly the truth. The things that you've been told are not exactly the truth when it comes to efficiency and whether or not these things are actually clean. Now, what I'm going to be showing you here are clips from an article done by the Washington Post a couple of years back. Okay, it's not a new article, but this data has not been necessarily fully updated recently. But this should be enough, however, to give you the general idea of what I'm talking about. And what we're going to be looking at are maps from the US Department of Energy showcasing where all the power plants are in the United States, what types of plants they are, and what kind of output they have for the type of energy production that they're administering to the grid. So essentially you can look at, okay, coal produces this much energy versus solar produces this much energy, and so on. And you can look at these maps, and again, these aren't maps that someone just made up. They come from the US Department of Energy. And it gives you an idea of how effective or non-effective these various grids are. So starting off here, mapping how the United States generates its electricity, and what you're looking at here is the locations of every power plant in the country. And there are thousands of them. Locations of every, and there it's got the list: natural gas, coal, nuclear, hydroelectric, oil, wind, solar, and then one marked other. And other would be something like thermal heat or what have you. Other barely registers on this chart. So we move down to the first item on the grid, which is natural gas powered electric plants. And again, remember, this article's a couple years old. It's a few years old, but there's no current data for me to look at, but not much has changed since this has come out. So natural gas powered electric plants, and it tells you here, and that's where they all are located. There are 1,793 natural gas powered electricity plants in the United States, generating 34% of the nation's electricity. So 34% of the grid, roughly, is natural gas. That's fracking, mining gas out of the earth itself, producing 34% at this time. Then we move down to coal. Coal, there are 400 coal-powered electric plants in the United States, and they generated 30% of the nation's electricity. So effectively, 400 coal plants at this time produced roughly the same amount of electricity as 1,793 natural gas plants. Almost 1,800 natural gas plants produced 34% versus 400 coal plants producing 30. So far, coal looks like it's the most productive or the most useful of these different types of electricity production. Moving down to nuclear, there are 61 nuclear electric plants in the United States, and they generated 20% of the nation's electricity last year. Okay, so now if 61 plants produced 20%, it looks like nuclear is more efficient than even coal. Coal is obviously more efficient than natural gas, and now nuclear is more efficient than the coal. Where I have an issue, though, is that people have forgotten why it is that for decades, people protested nuclear plants. The government still built them anyways, but they were protested for decades because of the waste. The nuclear waste from these plants, depending upon the type, can be toxic anywhere from 300 to a million years. They have to cart this stuff out to Nevada and bury it in the desert in the middle of nowhere in special vaults that have been dug out to contain this waste. It's very dangerous. Secondly, I'll make the argument that a catastrophic failure at a nuclear power plant is a much bigger problem than a catastrophic failure at a coal or natural gas plant. Just ask anyone from Chernobyl, because they still can't live out there. You'll contaminate hundreds of miles for God knows how long, decades, centuries. A fallout in a nuclear power plant would be devastating, even on a global scale, because of the effects on the atmosphere, nuclear clouds that float across other cities or even to other continents and so on. I don't like this option, even though it looks like it produces even better than does the coal. Obviously, if it's doing 20% with 61 plants, that's not bad. That's not bad as far as production. Now we move on to hydroelectric. There are 1,444 hydroelectric plants in the United States, and they, at that time, generated 7% of the nation's electricity. 7%. That is not efficient at all. 1,444 produced 7%, as opposed to the first option, 1,793 gas-powered plants producing 34. That's close. 1,444. That's pretty close to how many gas plants there are, producing 1/5 as much energy. This is not efficient. Plus, the hydroelectric plants, the dams, are oftentimes detrimental to the local environment and wildlife. I wouldn't mind seeing more coal or gas plants, maybe even another nuclear plant, as opposed to all these hydroelectric plants. That seems like a waste of effort. Moving on, wind. There are 999, 1,000, there's probably 1,000 by now, wind-powered electric plants in the United States, generating 6% of the nation's electricity. That doesn't sound efficient either. That doesn't sound efficient. 1,000 plants, 6%. It's more efficient than the hydroelectric, but not as efficient as the first three options. 999, 1,000 wind-powered plants producing 6% is inefficient. That's very inefficient. And I think that needs to be examined, especially when you consider how expensive these are to produce. The windmills are not cheap, and some of the materials that are needed to manufacture them brings us to destruction of the environment again, as was discussed in the previous video about the lie about the electric car. There's a lot of waste. There's a lot of mining. There's a lot of heavy equipment involved that burn millions of gallons of diesel. They destroy the local ecosystem and the local environment, the runoff water, the toxic chemicals, everything involved in the mining and manufacturing of the electric cars is the complete opposite of the narrative that's being spun about being clean and safe. Windmills are in that category. It's not clean or safe to produce these. They often fail. They're detrimental to the wildlife in the area, birds in particular, obviously. There's always a lot of dead birds around windmills. this looks like a non-viable option, just like the hydroelectric dams. Between the dams and the windmills, I could see those going away. Now we move on to solar. 1,721 solar-powered electric plants in the United States, generating 1% of the nation's electricity. 1%. Let me drive that home. 1%. There's almost as many plants to be the equivalent of natural gas. Natural gas was 1,793, producing 34%. So the equivalent plants, because I'm sure there's more solar stations by now than when this was put up a few years back, a couple of years, towards the end of the Trump administration. I forget when this article came out. Almost the equivalent, because it's over 1,700, producing 1/34, roughly, of the gas-powered plants. And what type of rare earth minerals and other things are required that have to be dug out of the ground and use toxic chemicals and a lot of waste and runoff from factories that destroy environments and ecosystems and landscapes with the mining and everything else. How clean is this option for something that is obviously not efficient at all? This is the least efficient option in this chart. Least efficient option thus far. 1%. I mean, I'm all for like having solar panels on your roof to supplement your electricity. You know, I don't think that's a bad option. I wouldn't mind seeing that being a regular thing. But obviously solar-powered electric plants are not efficient at all. Oil. There are 1,000, and I bet you didn't know they did this, did you? 1,076 oil-powered electric plants in the United States, generating half of 1%. Half of 1%. 0.5. Half of a percent. That's less efficient than the solar. Or about as efficient, I should say, because 1,721 versus 1,076. So 700 additional solar plants. Oil burning plants are the equivalent, therefore, to solar plants. This is also very inefficient. And I would not have a problem with all of these being shut down. With all of those being shut down. 1,076 oil-powered plants. It's a waste. It's an absolute waste. And it strikes me as fascinating that they push constantly for shutting down coal and natural gas burning, but they allow this to continue. Is burning oil any less toxic as far as carbon in the atmosphere than coal or natural gas? This is extremely inefficient. Extremely inefficient, and I would not mind seeing all the oil shut down and replaced by something else. Now, looking at this list, I can see arguments for elimination, the elimination of oil plants, solar plants, wind plants, and hydroelectric. None of them are efficient. And all of those are environmental hazards. All of them. Obviously, the most efficient are the top three on the tier: natural gas, coal, and nuclear. Nuclear, naturally, I have some issues with, because even though it's the new clean energy, I've even seen ads for it recently talking about, oh yes, you know, nuclear, the clean option. It's really not. If you have to go out to the middle of the desert and bury the waste runoff from these nuclear plants for ever. Basically, you're never going to be able to dig it back up and use it for anything. It's just not safe. And again, if one of these plants fail, as opposed to any of these other plants, a catastrophic failure at a nuclear plant would be devastating, possibly even on a global scale, versus any of these others having a catastrophic failure. And I don't know why it is they're pounding the hell out of coal and natural gas plants and trying to shut down fracking and coal mining, but then they're going to allow oil to operate at roughly half of 1% with over 1,000 plants in operation. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Why not shut down all the oil and replace them with something else that's more efficient? But I just needed to go ahead and share that with everyone. Again, this was an old Washington Post article from a couple of years back, and you can find it on www.eia.gov if you wanted to look up that data directly yourself. That's where you should be able to find it. Anyways, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that? Any science moms out there? Are you sad now? By the way, Science Moms is owned and operated by men that are connected to nonprofits, that are connected up the chain to people I dare not even mention because it's a scam. Sorry, it is. Anyways, what are your thoughts about that? You've been misled, and we've been forced to adopt systems that are not perfected. Same problem as with these electric vehicles. If you perfect a system and roll it out, I don't have a problem with it. The electric school buses and transit buses and electric snow plows and all this other garbage they've come up with, these are failure systems, and they're costing us billions in tax dollars. And it looks to me as if hydroelectric has phased out, because that was a big thing for a while, but it looks like it's no longer viable. Wind and solar were not perfected, but they're being pushed. And oil also is an older system that looks like it needs to be phased out as well. So please do let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Hope you got something out of that. Just trying to get people thinking. Please do think and research this stuff for yourself. Subscribe if you're new. Give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. I hope that you did. Find us on the podcast. I podcast Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if that is it, then what more can I say but stay tuned, folks, because there is more to come.